Hi guys. Hopefully you can see okay. So I'm just about to put my gloves on. I've got everything set up. Obviously sanitize the space. There's cling film down, tissue papers, everything's ready. I've got my inks out. Obviously all my bottles there for everything. I'm not going to touch it because I've just washed my hands. I need to obviously put my gloves on and everything. I've got my, I'm going to be tattooing on the fake skin today, so real skin. Hopefully you can see okay. Just before I start, I'm going to adjust the light because I can see obviously on the screen it looks quite bright. So I'm just going to have a play around with that first. So hopefully it'll look a bit better for you. And then obviously I can then I can get started. Just make sure that everything is a bit clearer. See what's best. Is that a little bit better? So obviously this is the tattoo that I want to do on myself, but I'm just going to do it on the real skin practice fake skin. I'll just show you with another piece quickly before I actually touch anything on here. This is the fake skin. It's quite stretchy. It mimics real skin, which obviously that's why it's called real skin. So I'm just going to sanitize my hands again now, put my gloves on, and then we're gonna start. So this is going to be Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. And normally you see him just as, you know, just the little flame, or you see him on a like a log or something, or in the fireplace. I just wanted something a little bit different today, so I've done him on a match, which I'll show you. Obviously if you've seen my other stream, I think just before this, you'll have seen the design. So I've got my gloves on now. I have ordered some extra small, but they haven't arrived, so these are the ones I'm going to be using today. So obviously now I can touch things on here. So if I just show you quickly, obviously because I'm having to hand do the stencils rather than print them out, I can't get very fine lines, so I've just done like a little bit of a stencil there of him. You can see him on top of what will be the match, and this is just to show where there's going to be little bits of smoke and flames. The needles that I've got, because I'm hand poking it today as I'm still saving up for my machine, so this just helps me keep practice in. So I have bring them a bit closer. I've put them on these sticks just to make it a bit easier for me to grip, a bit bigger. And I've already gone ahead and obviously opened them and done that and sanitized everything. So I have round liner number 5, number 3, because they're just, I want it quite fine. Normally you'd use a 7 as a standard, but I want to do it a little more delicate today. And then I've just gone for a round mag. I only had the 11, so I'm going to very carefully shade with that. I have got other needle types and sizes on the way, they just haven't arrived yet. And then obviously in my bottles here I've got things like my green soap mixture, my water mixtures, everything that I need. Got my inks here. I've had them covered so nothing goes in them while I've been preparing. Yeah, and then I've got spare tissue to wipe the design. So what I'm going to do first is uncover the inks that I've already pre-prepared ready. Just didn't want them to get anything in them. And I'm going to start with the 5 round liner, which will give me slightly thicker, I mean not thick lines on this, but just slightly thicker than the 3. So 5 round liner means round is just the arrangement of the needles, so they're in a circle like that, and obviously 5 is, well, like that, 5 of them. 3 means like this 3, so it's like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do a thick black outline on everything, obviously, because he's a flame. So I've got the colours here. So I've got the black for the match area, and then I've got obviously yellow, red and an orange mixture to sort of blend for the flame area. So I'm just going to dip into my ink and start at the bottom. Obviously these gloves are a little bit too big for me, so not that good. So I'm stretching with my hand here, this bit, I'm stretching up, and then with either these two or these two, whichever is more comfortable at the time, I'm stretching out, which is what you would do obviously on real skin. And then I'm going in at a 45-degree angle. Now the thing with this fake skin is obviously it mimics real skin, but it isn't as good as real skin. So that means that it can very easily it can actually tear because it's not as flexible, even though it looks it as real skin. And also I found it doesn't hold colour as well. So when I do these colours, obviously you can see how bright they are, but on here they may look faded just because of the nature of the material that I'm working with. But obviously in skin they would look a lot brighter. And then obviously here we've got water, you can't quite see it, I'll move it up. And this is just to just clean off the tip. And normally you would get a little bit of Vaseline and rub it on first to help the needle go in smoother, but I've found with the fake skin it actually blocks the colour from going in. So obviously I've got it set up like I am doing a tattoo on a real person, but I'm not doing it exactly the same because of the fabric and materials and everything. Well, not fabric, the materials that I'm using. So yeah, it's slightly different, but I've found that it is good for when you want to layer colour because it sort of blocks the ink going in, it's good for actually layering the colour, because it will block underneath so that you're not smudging colours onto other colours and mixing them accidentally. So yeah, this is the first time I've actually done one of these for quite a while, so I'm guessing it won't be the best. But I thought, since I'm off today, I'll do one a bit earlier in the day for everyone. Obviously I want to do this as a real tattoo on myself, but I'm going to just be doing it on this for now. So as you can see, the line there, hopefully you can see it. I haven't got the camera too close because obviously I'm leaning in and you'll just end up with my head in the way. So we carry on, stretch the skin. Obviously this would be a lot faster with a machine. Which is something I'm saving for. I've got the picture in front of me as well. Like I said, it's not the best thing to be working with because it just isn't quite the same as real skin. It can tear when you're stretching it. It does stain, as you can see with the ink. It's not the best, but it's one of the closest things you can use. So yeah. obviously when you do it on real skin, the lines look a lot darker. They don't look as dark here, unfortunately. Just dabbing off the ink. Obviously you would spray your green soap on, but like I said, this is slightly different because of the material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the black outline all the way up to the top of the match, like the match head. Obviously shade it, sort of like add some detail into it, and then I'm going to be using these colours here to create the flame. I am going to outline his eyes, but I'm going to do that with a smaller needle, so I'm going to do it with the 3, not the 5. And obviously like dot in his eyes, and then use the 3 to sort of do the wispy smoke bits. And then hopefully he'll look pretty cute. But this will look slightly different from a tattoo on real skin because of the nature of the material, as I keep saying. Well, the medium, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't quite react the same. It's very close. It's a lot better than this other practice skin that I had. This is a lot thicker. The other practice skin was so thin it wouldn't stretch. As soon as, like, can you see how this is remaining pretty flat? The other one I had would bubble up. It was an absolute nightmare. And I like some of the pictures that I actually put on it as well. But I feel like it just got completely ruined because of this really bad quality skin that I was using at the time. So I actually stopped practicing for a little bit till I could find a better quality of fake skin, which I've found now, and it's still, like I said, not 100%, but it is so much better. If you're wanting to learn, 100% recommend reelskin. 100%. And that's spelled R-E-E-L, skin. Not real as in the usual spelling of real. More like film reel. So yeah, I would definitely recommend them. They have offers on all the time as well, which is great. I actually got the value like offcuts pack just because I just wanted little scraps to practice on originally, and then when I wanted to do bigger pieces, obviously I would go and order the larger sheets. And it's not just sheets you can get, like these are flat sheets, so it's not as accurate to tattooing the 3D structure of the body. You can actually get things like feet, arms, skull, cap sort of shapes, and they help you a lot for the contours of the body. So I'll probably be getting a hand or a foot in the next few months and tattooing that. Probably not so much this skull. I'm not so keen on doing a head tattoo, but maybe like the arm I might get before the foot, because more people, including myself, have tattoos on the arm area before the foot, usually anyway. You know, but it's up to whoever's getting them and what they want. Yeah, this may stain slightly, so just don't worry about it not looking great. Obviously, real, you know, human skin, you can wash it off a lot easier after a while. You get the initial staining. You'd obviously be getting seepage as well from, you know, like the plasma and little bits, but yeah, it's close. It's not 100% accurate, but you know, it's pretty good for a practice skin. I'm just going to make this a bit pointier at the bottom. But yeah, I just thought I would just do this today for you guys, since I've got a bit more of the day. I'm not going to be on all day doing this. I was going to show you the whole process, doing the stencil, but it took like 2 minutes. I didn't see the point. I can do a completely separate video for stencils. Obviously I do them by hand. Most people have printers, which is where they can get the final lines for the stencil and do it a lot faster. Doing everything by hand is a lot slower, but still possible. Obviously as well, I do have the sharps bin. It is under my desk at the moment because I don't have a lot of space on my desk, and you don't really want it in your face. And what that is it's where you put used needles in, and then you can lock it when you're finished and dispose of it correctly. If you're not sure, you can always take it to your local pharmacist, who will know how to dispose of it for you, or ring your local council. Usually on it you put the date that it was started, you don't overfill it. Once it's shut and locked, that is it. They're very inexpensive if you need to get one, and definitely, you know, recommend, because you do not want old needles lying around. Like even this that's just being used on fake skin, there's no blood or anything, will get thrown away. That as well, like you don't really want to use them, apart from obviously hygiene reasons, is because they get blunt, and the last thing you want to be doing is using a blunt or a dirty needle. Definitely do not recommend. Don't know if you can hear this kind of like flicking noise. That is the sound of the needle coming out of the fake skin. You get that as well when you're having a real tattoo. But obviously with machines, it's very difficult to hear. And you hear it more with a hand poked tattoo. So obviously on a real person, I would then be getting the green soap, spraying it on, dabbing and wiping it off. Before you put the stencil on, obviously like you sanitize the skin and everything. Got spare distilled water there as well in my other squeezy bottle, but because this is what it is, I will actually ruin the skin and the tattoo on here if I did the exact same as on real skin. It just works slightly different. So I'm not actually doing exactly the same. So far we've got most of the match outline. You can actually, if I just do it on the edge here, can you see how using a bit of Vaseline or petroleum jelly, if you don't want a brand, actually will clean that off there. When I finished on here, I'll be doing that all over. I mean, I'm going to just do a little bit now because I would like to clean it off a little bit. Can you see the difference there? The one thing as well with this kind of skin is the stencil actually stains it permanently. You have to use bleach to get the purple stencil off, which is why you might still see bits of the stencil when I've finished and I've cleaned it off. I can't help it. It's just how it is. And also, can you see how there's lots of little black dots around it now? That's just part of the texture of it. I can't do anything about it. To be fair, the design did have lots of little black dots around it anyway, so I won't now have to do those, but I would have tattooed them on if this didn't, you know, create this, because obviously the offcuts that I've got, they are slightly imperfect. So can you see how it's not everywhere, these little dots, like it's not gone up here? It's just because of the offcuts that I've got, just because of the material I've got. I was actually going to put dots around it, not as many as this, but I can't get that off. I can't do anything about that, so it's now going to be part of the design. But it did originally have a couple up here and then up in the smoke, but it'll probably have more because of just the nature of the material, as I said. But yeah, it actually works for this design, to be honest. Probably a few more dots than what I would have done, but yeah, it does work for the design. But when I'm using any fake skin, I mean, I could probably have put like loads of Vaseline on to try and block that first, but I have tried that before with this, and because they're not perfect off-cut, you know, pieces, because these are all from imperfect sort of pieces that they've just chopped up and just done as like a discount bundle or whatever, it doesn't always work. The perfect pieces are really nice and smooth. You don't really get this happening as much. So yeah, for this it's okay. For other pieces, try and put Vaseline in, but it's just, it might not always work. That's the thing, it might not always block the ink from going in these little dips and everything. Obviously on real skin it would wash off, but yeah, I can't really do anything about that. It's not too noticeable on the stream, I don't think, but if I was to hold it up, you can see them a little bit there. So yeah, can't really do much about that. So what I'm going to do is, on the design, obviously I would have used a 3 and the 5 to just do little kind of marks all over like that, but there's not much point now because it's just done that. But on my design I do have parts of the match blacked out. I have little line details on there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, obviously because it's a small design, normally you would have a shader. I do have a shader, but I have it in a size 8. So because of that, it is a little bit too big for this design. And a shader basically just means, like, because it's 8, like if I show you like that, like if it was a 5, it would be 5 like that, and it would be set as round, just like the liner. But they're not set as close together. So like on a liner, it's a bit difficult with these gloves, sorry. On a liner, if it was 5, they'd be like that, they'd be really close together. On a shader, they spread out the little, because each needle has got little needles on the end of it. So say a 5 liner would be like that, pretty close together. A 5 shader would be spread out. So if you were to like just stamp it down, you'd get like a little, you know, like the classic flower sort of shape. So they're slightly spread out. So because it's not too much different, normally I would use a shader, but I've only got an 8 shader. It's too big for some of these small delicate areas, so I'm actually going to use my round liner in the 5. I mean, I don't know, I suppose I could have actually used my 7 and had like multiple, like more little needles on the end. But I'm not going to go, you know, I've set all this up now, I'm not going to go and find some of the needles and have to re-sanitize everything. So yeah, you would normally have a shader at this point, like a large sort of number or whatever, but because I've only got these 3 at the moment, I'm going to use the one that I've just used for the outline, because it's come out quite thick, just to sort of add a few darker areas, and then I'm going to use the slightly smaller 3 just for a few like lines detail. And then this round mag is just basically like, it's like a mag is basically like, it's usually like straight needles, but rounded means it's like this. Can you see, like if you follow the contour of my fingers, and they spread out, which means it just gives a softer edge to shading. So instead of just going like that and creating like a harsh line, it's spread out, so it sort of like blends the edges. So I've got that to sort of do the flame and everything, but it is quite big. I've only got the 11 in that. Like I said, some of my supplies have not arrived, so I'm quite limited at the minute. So I'm just going to use the 5 round liner that I've just used to do the outline, just to create some darker areas. Like in the match head, you would normally use a shader. If this was on real skin, I would be using a shader. Another reason why I've not actually tattooed myself at the moment, because I haven't got all of the supplies that I need needle wise. They were supposed to have arrived, but they haven't. And even though you can do it, it's better to have the correct sizes. So basically I'm colouring in some areas. Of the match. So I've got an image just here that I'm going off. So it gets coloured into about here, and then we have a few pieces like dot work just to show the light a bit here, then it gets coloured in here again, and there's like a few lines. So I'm just going to make a start on that, and then we'll get onto Calcifer's actual, well, not his face, but Calcifer himself. Now it is a little more difficult to add colour in with the liners, because obviously the needles are not spread out as much, so you end up missing tiny pieces that look like they're actually coloured in, but they're not. So I'm just going to wipe that and see where I'm up to. I'm dabbing it off obviously because I don't want to tear this. It can tear just by, like, your actual skin, unless you were very rough, wouldn't really tear, but this does, because even though it's stretchy and flexible, it is like, it is set, so you know, so far it can only go so far with little micro sort of incisions in it because of the needle, without having slight tears. Can't be helped, just how it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 3, I think, now, just to do a few fine dots here. Actually, there's a little bit, can you see there? It isn't quite coloured in, so I'll go back with the 5 and just add a couple more pokes there, just to make sure that it is. And then, like I said, I'm going to go with the 3, just dab that. Going to go in with 3 now. Sharpen that up a bit. I think Quattro will be back soon. He actually sent me a message, but I can't click on anything because I can't. I mean, I can. I could probably like take the gloves off, but then I have to completely swap the gloves, re-sanitize, and it just takes ages. So unless it's an emergency, I'm just going to be carrying on. I was thinking of doing one of these on my arm, but I want to have a sleeve done, so I don't really want to add too much in. So you might be able to see slightly that it looks a bit sort of, there's a little bit of a gradient. It is a bit more difficult on this than real skin. Hopefully you can see. that there's a little more of a gradient of the dark going into the light. It is a bit hard on this, like I said. It's not the best. I mean, even with this, the ink can just spread slightly, and obviously the piece is not perfect that I've got, so it is a little difficult compared to reelskin. Just do a couple of lines on here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it pretty well. Bigger tattoos are obviously a lot easier than smaller ones, but it is a little difficult to do some things. I'm trying not to get the Vaseline at the top. Like I said, the colours aren't as dark as what they would be on real skin on this, so it can look kind of grey when you're doing the black. I almost feel like just leaving the ink on and not wiping it off, because it actually looks as dark as it should be then. But yeah. If this was just done on my skin, it would definitely be a lot more obvious. Like if I show you very carefully, can you see without me touching it what look faded on here? That's how dark they go. So yeah. So it isn't quite the same. They don't look as good as real ones. But yeah, you can't help it really. So we're almost ready to do the little calcifer part. Just give it a bit of a clean up. Quattro will probably see me doing this and want me to tattoo him straight away, but I'll have to just completely redo the whole setup. I mean, I can do that. I can just take everything off and re-sanitize and that, but I'll probably have a lunch break first. I forgot to get something to eat. I'm pretty hungry. Yes, you can kind of see the match. See if you can. It's not the clearest, but you can kind of see it. And then we just got to do calcifer on top now. It's a shame really it's not as accurate as real actual skin, because it would look so much better. But yeah, unfortunately I can't do much about that. So I'm just going to try and get as much black off as I can. I'm going to start with the yellow and then just sort of like build up. I'm going to do very faint sort of outline with the 5 in yellow to try and get as much of the shape as possible. I'm going to give that stencil a bit of a wipe so that I can actually not have it as tainted, because that'll show really dark with these colours over it. You might not even be able to see the colours very well. So I'm going to just give it a bit of a wipe with the soap, a little bit. There we go. And that is green soap. I just want to rub a little bit of that stencil off, even though it sounds a bit stupid. It's a little dark. So I'm just going to rub it off. Green soap, if you're not sure, is actually an like antibacterial soap. That you dilute with distilled water. Can you see how well it's stuck though? It's not actually coming off, which is fantastic. You actually mix it with distilled water, and it's just like a really, this is what, you know when you're going into a tattoo shop and they have that smell that's like antibacterial, disinfectant kind of smell. And then when you're having your tattoo and then sort of like spray you off and do the white while they're working, this is what they use. It's called green soap, but there are like obviously other names for it as well. It's basically just a soap water mixture that's antibacterial. As you can see, that stencil is well and truly on there. That is not coming off. With normal skin, that would start to wipe off. With this, it stains, so I can only get that off if I bleach the actual fake skin. And I do not want to bleach it. I mean, I could go and get some bleach, but I don't want to bleach on this. So it may look a little bit dark. So I'm going to just move that. I'm going to get my 5 now, and I'm going to be just using the yellow. See how bright that is. It doesn't actually come out as bright on here, which is why I'm a little disappointed that the stencil has, on this occasion, actually stained quite well. On other occasions, doesn't always do that for me. So yeah, it is what it is. So I'm just going to start. Hold on. Get that off there. I'm going to put a little bit of green soap on this. Obviously helps wash it as well, because there was a slightly small amount of the black on. With a real tattoo, I would obviously use completely separate, but because this is not a real tattoo, I mean it is on the fake skin, but it's not on like an actual person. Or if it was a machine, you could actually leave it running in your water mixture to sort of like clean the needle out slightly, or just put a new one in your machine or whatever. But this is a practice one, so I'm not as fussed. Although if this obviously was a real one, I would have like so many things set up more than this. I just want to make sure that I've definitely got the black out of that, because I don't know if you noticed, it actually started to run. So if I go up here, now as you can see how dark that looks, and that is because the stencil is just so dark on there. So plus I've noticed these colours, they're not as bright. I don't know what it is, but these colours are just not as, like, they're bright coming out the bottom. They're just, and on anything else they touch, they're just not as bright in, you know, real life on the skin and things like that. I don't know what it is. When I do get my machine, I'm going to be I don't know, like, there are a few brands, I'm not going to name them, there are a few brands that I like the look of, that have some beautiful bright colours. And I just think that if you're using colour, you want the colours to be bright, you want to see them. So I will be investing in some really nice inks. These are not cheap inks either, but they are obviously not as great as some brands that I want to get. I am going to save a bit and get some for even doing my hand poke. But at the moment I'm just using these because the majority of the colours I'm only using on, like, practice pieces. I'm using the black on fully hand poked pieces, so it's not so bad at the moment. But obviously would recommend you get proper brands. You know what's in them then. These are, but these are not like cheap ones off Amazon or anything. These are actually proper brand ones. Otherwise I would never have used even the black to do my tattoo. There is no way I'm putting something in my skin that I do not know what's in it, or anyone else's. If you're only using, like, even just on practice materials like this, I would still use decent stuff. You're getting into a good habit then, but Quattro's back now. But then I wouldn't. Hello. Are you okay?
You online?
Yeah, I'm just doing a little calcifer. Oh, you didn't touch it going oxygen.
No, sign in front of it. When I went to put stuff in the bin and I just went like that, went on it.
Oh.
You got views?
Not really, I'm just doing this. Just doing a little calcifer and having a chat about the materials that you use and the inks and everything. Your hand's freezing. Oh my god, you're so cold. Oh, that's nice on my forehead.
Put some paint.
Oh no, don't put paint on my face. Oh, thanks for that. Cheers. Yeah, I'm just doing this because I just thought I'd come on a bit earlier and do this.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So yeah, you can tell these are not going to be as bright as they are in the little cups because the stencil has stained the fake skin. Yeah, I've got green soap as well, but I'm not sure if it'll get that kind of paint off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the 3 now, and I'm just going to do the little eyes and mouth outline. Can you see how bright it is there? And then because of the stencil, it's just looking a bit darker. Do his eyes. You okay? Down. Have a lie down.
Cool little studio, dude.
Thank you.
Can't believe this. Which was going to get skipped.
I can't believe they were going to skip it either.
Loads of. I wish I could carry more. I would have had one for another one for myself.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to do with it at the time, and I thought, oh, put it in the bedroom so you've got a desk.
It's pretty cool.
It turned out to be a good idea.
Yeah. I look like a proper little nerd. How do I look like a proper little nerd?
Arty nerd.
What, because I'm tattooing in my Nintendo top?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, just because you're
Doing Studio Ghibli tattoo in my Nintendo top. I'm a nerd. I watched your stream before.
Huh?
I watched your stream before.
Which one?
The one that you did
I was only testing
yesterday.
it.
Oh, the game looks good.
Yeah, it's cute socks though. Puts them over together.
Yeah.
The fucking opposite out the bowl.
Just get his little mouth in. These lines would be obviously a lot finer on real skin. It's a clear. I think I have some eucalyptus. I'll have a look for it in a sec. You can have a look in the kitchen and see if there's any like thick stuff. You can put that in hot water and breathe it.
The mint gets to my eyes. It's fine, I'll just have some bubble bath. Oh, proper.
What about that bar? That massage bar? You can put a bit of that in if you want.
I understand this one anyway.
Yeah.
I went down the veins and like in my forehead as if I took steroids.
That's not good.
I don't know, I didn't get a break.
Why?
Because the amount of shit that come into there and I need to do all that shop. Do you know what Joel said to me that she's coming in with the help?
Yeah.
Well, she said up at 9 o'clock and I've done it.
Oh, that's not good, is it? Sounds typical of them.
Tell you what.
Mm? How much was the taxi? 18.
I don't want to be cashing too many hours.
Do you know, like, it's because it's like Freshers Week.
Well, I had a bit of good news today.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the full amount because of the COVID. We're getting a partial bonus this year.
Oh, you're actually getting a bonus. That's cool.
The first time.
In how many years? 5 years. And they've never give you a bonus.
Let's go another car. Save a little bit and take them out for dinner. Go to a Christmas book do.
Mm.
This that music off that side.
Yes, this is it Epidemic Sound or something? Whatever it's called.
Pretty chill, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice playlist. And because it's royalty free, Twitch can't mute it.
I need to set it up actually.
So I remember on my other one they started muting, even though like
Parts of your stream.
yeah, even though like it said royalty free on it when I used it.
Yeah, they always said that just so you
muting
can play the music.
But then like this one actually is.
You've been at it for an hour, have you?
Yeah, just been chatting and doing this.
Bit early though, isn't it? Lots of people will be, well, all your Americans and stuff will be asleep.
Yeah, well, I want to do other stuff later, so.
Well, if my headache goes, I'll try again.
Yeah. How's the plug come out? It does that on me. I know it does that on me. I don't know why. I need to get a new one.
Got it.
What is it?
I'm blue.
I don't really like Iron Brew.
I'm blue.
No.
That would be a mug cream. I've had some food today, so
I need to get something to eat in a bit.
yeah. I have enough left once I've paid everything. I'm going to try and see if I can get that Zelda stuff on stream.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I've signed up to that Nintendo partnership program yesterday.
Oh, what's that then?
Basically, I'm allowed to stream certain games under their permission, but they get 40% of the cut.
Yeah, but I couldn't do that on mine though. Could I? On my Switch.
You need a recording device. You can give it to a Mac recording device. Yeah. I'm not using the laptop. The black one. Because that's.
Because I was thinking of doing some where I'm playing games as well.
You know that black one?
Yeah.
That's my streaming computer at the minute. I don't stream from the other one.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do is connect your Switch to the little Razer Ripsaw and off you go.
Oh, you'll have to show me how to do it.
Because
Because I've got Yonder, haven't I? And I've got the gardens in between.
you can do it straight from the
and
PlayStation, however.
Yeah,
You just need to have your little TV in here.
you'll have to help me set it up.
You know, I'd have to like put it on the wall or something.
Oh.
So it's pull out. You know what you could do?
Yeah.
You could have it here, on this side of your studio.
I don't want it there because, like, if I'm doing a tattoo, like, say you want your arm or something that you need to, like,
No,
come
on this
out.
side.
I know, but that will block that. I would take this off and then you can put your arm in so that I can.
Oh,
film doing it.
Okay. Well, I could do it higher up.
Yeah.
And basically, you can just fold it out when you want it, so it's here.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then you can do your thing, and then fold it back up.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll figure something out.
Do it like they have in hospital, a little fold-out TV.
Yeah, that might help me finance it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I'll figure something out.
Not, like, obviously, it's my thing.
Keeping an eye on this development.
What development?
Going across the road.
What development?
Turning the old factory into a settled really nice private apartment.
Ooh, nice apartments. What factory?
Across the road. It's the old steelworks factory.
Oh, is that near the unit?
It's right opposite, yeah, right opposite you.
Oh, that side. I thought you meant over there. Yeah, I've heard they're doing something there.
Keep an eye on the website, look. That's
Yeah,
the website.
see how much they are and everything.
Eyewitness at Sheffield.
Yeah.
Turn them all into high ceiling apartments like you see in fucking.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Do you get like, are they doing stuff where you can get like some kind of balcony or area or something
It's
somewhere?
got a massive shared garden in the middle. Because don't forget that you've got a balcony.
Yeah, you got your own private bit though.
It's like the factory's like a circle. The middle
Yeah.
bit was the office area.
Yeah.
So they cleared all that out to create a garden.
But you have your own private piece
Yeah.
as well. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, keep an eye on that. That'd be
The
nice.
fact is, because it's just across the road, we'll still have good internet.
Ah, that's why you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
We've got hyper optic internet, which is amazing, super fast, and very limited of where you can get it. So we're going to move across the road, basically.
How do you think your stream looks so good through Wi-Fi on your phone?
I know. This is why. This is why.
If you, were doing
If you
that
can get
anywhere
hyper
else,
optic,
it'd
get
look
it.
shit.
It's great. And yes, I am streaming on my phone. And yes, when I get some more money, I'll get decent equipment. Tattoo and streaming. But at the moment, I'm just starting, so yeah. I should have definitely eaten before I started this stream. I'm so hungry now. So Quattro's gone for a bath to chill out after work. I am just going to carry on with this. What I'm doing is I'm using my 5 just to get some like edges on. It does look darker because of the stencil staining. I can't really do anything about that. But get rid of that. But what I am doing is then using the round mag to blend outwards. Can you see the shape that I was telling you about? To blend out the colour. I'm just doing them slightly outside of the guidelines because there's a flame and obviously it doesn't have straight lines. I'm doing the yellow outside and then I'm going to sort of like bring the lines a bit bolder to where the outline is with the oranges and the reds. I was going to say black then, but I'm not putting black in it. I want to create a bit of a glow. So I'm just going slightly outside with the yellow. I'm blending that out. I'm just going to add little bits onto the match area to show a little bit of like a glow. Hopefully it's looking nice. It's a bit difficult on here, but yeah. See, a good tip, let me just show you, is I wipe this off and then I put some Vaseline on all of these bits here for the match. That will seal part of the black. So then when I go to tattoo over it with a lighter colour, it shouldn't blend as easy. This obviously works better with skin, but you can do it a little bit on this kind of stuff. So it like pushes down into any holes and spaces and helps with that. This would look so much brighter on actual skin. Just add in a bit more yellow in, and then we'll move on to some of the other colours. A little bit of the orange now. See it? Just gonna add a bit of red up here. tips of the flames. Can't wait to actually do this as a tattoo. So I'm just doing a couple of sparks coming out. What do you think so far? Looks pretty cute. Do his little tongue. Should we get his little eyes in? sort of smoky effect going up. And it's almost done. Yeah, like I said, they don't hold the colours as bright, so this would actually be really bright on actual skin, but it's not as bright with this. Everything looks dulled down a bit. Difficult to sort of keep the colours separate when working on this. See how bright it's coming off on the tissue, it just doesn't come off as bright on here. And obviously here is where the stencil's stained, so it looks a bit dark. get a bit of a wash off, and I think I'll leave it there. You can kind of see him through that. Try and wash all the excess bits of ink off. Clean this off the best I can. And there we go. There's a little calcifer. It's a bit dark here because it's smudged slightly. I wonder if I can get that off. I don't think I can get that off. It's stained a little bit on there, but it wouldn't do on real skin. But yeah, I'll probably do this tattoo on myself. I quite like it. Yeah, there we go. There he is. Hopefully you can see him. Little calcifer. Alright, so that's me. I'm just going to clear all this away. Yeah, and then just put him away, I think. Might do this as an actual tattoo. I was thinking on my ankle. On one side, obviously these colours, and then the other side would be like blues, cool blues on the other side.